I have everyone muted just for now, so we don't get any feedback, but if you have any questions, I will unmute at the end, so just write your questions down and I will answer everyone's questions if there are any. So we're just going to take the next little while to talk about club licensing and the process that we're going to be taking in Saskatchewan. And as of this morning, I emailed some information out about the National Youth Club License level, which is going to be under the purview of Canada Soccer. So if anyone has any questions about that, I can answer those to the best of my ability or refer you to the correct location. I unfortunately cannot see the chat at the moment, but if you, oh, yes, I can. So if you have any questions, you can also type those into the chat, but I will open up the mics for everyone at the end. So let's get going. So today we're just going to do a quick overview of the timelines for implementation, the rewards and recognition element of the club licensing program, the accessibility to competition, and the support through club licensing. And if this piques any of your memories from something you've seen previously, yes, Raheem presented this presentation or a version of it previously. So this information will be a good refresher, or if you're seeing it for the first time, welcome. So timelines for implementation. So a few, 10 days ago, I emailed out information about the declarations of intent for the quality soccer provider level. So a little bit about the club licensing program in its totality. It's a 4-level program. Each are individual declarations. You can see them here. The quality soccer provider, the PTSO level 1, level 2, and finally the National Youth Club License level. So at this time, the program is in a graduated rollout across the country. Some of the provinces have already began their National Youth Club License acceptance and have rolled out other levels within their own membership. And now we in Saskatchewan are on the road to implementation here in the province. So quality soccer provider, the quality soccer provider is the level that we will all start with. So we've emailed out a declaration of intention application, so to speak, that we would like those interested to fill out by August 31st. Then we will send out more information about how you will complete the documentation for the standards, and those will be in total, the application will be accepted until October 1st. Then we'll be doing our review, which we'll talk about a little bit more. And next year, those who have been accepted for quality soccer provider and those, I suppose, who haven't, can apply to PTSO level 1 and level 2 next year. And finally, the National Youth Club License, Canada Soccer, is now accepting declarations of intent for that level, which is also going to be accepted until August 31st. So as I said, the applications will be reviewed. There will be requests for changes or any resubmission in that stage. That will be after the applications are reviewed, and then there will be an approval or denial process. That sounds a bit more heavy-handed than we mean it to be. It is meant to be a collaborative process between yourselves and Saskatchewan Soccer and Canada Soccer, and really anyone who is expressing interest. We want to help you get over the line to achieve your designation, as long as we are all upholding our levels of the bargain and putting in all our own work. So this is the process that we will see. Oh, I think frozen. Oh. So an important element of the club licensing program, something you might be asking yourself, is why would we undertake this? And one of the elements, of course, is reward and recognition. So a large element will be the recognition portion. All Canada Soccer club license holders will be recognized for their achieved level of licensing on the SSA website, and we're also considering different other aspects of recognition. For example, at our annual awards dinner that usually takes place at our AGM, and perhaps recognition at our AGM. We're also seriously considering the possibility of increased MAP grant funding, as future changes to the MAP grant could be impacted by participation in Canada Soccer Club Licensing Program. And you can 99% likely expect changes will be happening to the MAP grant program starting next year. We're currently doing the legwork on what that's going to look like, but we hope to evolve our MAP grant process so it is a process that acknowledges and rewards those who do the work to meet the club licensing program. A second element to licensing with the club licensing program is the accessibility to competition. So we are undertaking a continued definition within competitions in Saskatchewan, and we do anticipate that there will be a time in the future when there will be level requirements necessary to be met in order to access specific competitions. We're not entirely sure what that looks like yet. We're doing some legwork, and we're speaking with other provinces to see what that looks like. In other provinces, to see, for some provinces they've already done this, and talking to them with what's working and what's not working. But just know that our timelines are lengthy to allow for MOs to begin planning to achieve the specific levels based on their organization levels, so that when we get to the point where this becomes implemented, we are hopefully not leaving anyone out of the fold there. So this here is a graphic of our different streams of participation and the different competitions that we're currently offering or in the future will be offering, and how this looks, how this breaks down here. So if we're looking at this in that black strip 3/4 of the way down the page, as you can see, for community, youth, and adult, at this point there will be no club licensing requirement there, but for competitive youth and adult, PTSO level 1 and 2 will likely be implemented as a requirement in order to access those competitions. And then National Youth Club License there will be in the development and performance stream. This here is a graphic of how the long-term player development breaks out into those categories. So if that is something you're familiar with, you can see how these break down. So Active Start, Fundamentals, and Learn to Train are in the grassroots. Excuse me, Soccer for Life are in competitive and community, and Learn to Train, Learn to Compete, and those two, and Train to Win are over there on those elements of the pathway. So of course, we don't expect you to do this blind or without support. So at this moment, there are some Canada Soccer resources, and there are also some Saskatchewan Soccer resources. So at the moment, there are 3 club guides that Canada Soccer has published: the Club Governance Guide, the Club Management and Operations Guide, and the Guide for Safety. And I have heard that there are 2 more guides in the works, so they should be out very shortly. And then there are also a load of resources on our Saskatchewan Soccer website, which is located on the Member Templates webpage. That is a password protected webpage that is a benefit to membership. And so if you want to write this password, this very scientific password down at the moment, the password is soccer. So if you don't remember that, you can always email me anytime and I can pass that along again. But there are some good resources there that would be beneficial for you if you don't have those things yourself. And then on the active side of support, of course, the expertise of the SAS Soccer staff, and we can refer to our community our membership, our neighbors, our friends, to build a community of practice. And there are also external experts who are familiar with the soccer system, and as well those in the soccer system. I know that some provinces are working together cross-provincial to build resources and share resources, and that's also happening with member clubs across the country as well. So if you are looking for support in some manner, you can get in touch with us and we can put you in touch with someone who can be of support. So the process of applying we'll go through right now. So at the moment, we're in the declaration of interest phase, which is due August 31st. That was emailed out to all of you, and if you need that sent to you again, just let me know. It's just a very short information collection for us. It mostly is what streams of participation are you, your contact information, how can we get a hold of you, that sort of thing. Once that has been submitted to us, we will send to you the application process. Right now, we are working on the platform to collect all of this data. We've been in touch with Ontario Soccer to refer to their service. We don't quite have it in place yet, but we are working on it. So as soon as that is ready and able to be used, we will send it to those who have expressed their interest to apply for Quality Soccer Provider. Concurrently, Canada Soccer is collecting National Youth Club License declarations of interest, and those are also due August 31st. And I should just note, for the rest of this slide, anyone who's interested to apply to the National Youth Club License should defer to Canada Soccer's information or their webpage, as the rest of this presentation is just specific to Quality Soccer Provider. Once our online portal is ready and we have sent it to the applicants will be able to submit their documentation, and that process will go until October 1st of this year. That is not quite all, just one moment. So I hope you can still see this. This is the rest of our timeline here. So as I mentioned previously, by December 1st, we will have reviewed all the documentation for the applications, and if we require any more information, we will get that back to you and have some time for you to resubmit that, and then we will announce on the 15th of December the successful applicants for the Quality Soccer Provider this year. And I'm sure in a similar fashion, Canada Soccer, which is on their website, strong demonstration by internet. Just okay, well, they have a very handy graphic somewhere here that I apparently can't find. There was. They have a very handy graphic here, if this is readable to you, that shows you the process of moving up the levels. So I just wanted to comment that the SAS Soccer webpage of club licensing and the Canada Soccer web pages are being kept as up to date as possible. And there's lots of information there. There's plenty to read through if you need a little bit of light reading. But as well, you can also contact the three of us listed here. So Marcus, the coordinator of Sport for All, is there to talk about technical and sporting criteria. So those criteria specifically to technical or sporting. I can be contacted for the general administration of the program, but also the administrative, financial, infrastructure, and governance criteria. And Raheem is liaising directly with Canada Soccer. And so if there's any questions or comments to be made to Canada Soccer, he is the person you can go to for that. So I'm going to unmute you all. If anyone has any questions or comments or needs clarification, I'm happy to do that now. So I'm just going to unmute you. That's wrong.
Okay, hi Lara.
Hi, Hugh.
Okay, question, can we get a copy of the presentation, please?
Yes, so I have recorded this presentation. I will post it online. And there is also this PDF, I believe, is already on the webpage, but I will post an updated presentation.
Okay, and also the other one is the declaration of interest. We have received no information regarding that at all, Lara. We've gone through our emails to myself and our club, and we've received nothing from you on that.
Okay, that declaration was sent out on July 17th, which also included the information about the webinar. So if you did not receive that, please email me, Hugh, and I will send that to you tomorrow.
Thank you, I'll do that.
It was included in the email that Jordan sent out.
We've gone through the emails here, and we can't even find that email actually, because my one goes right to the club box. But I'm not going to get into that right now.
Okay.
We'll get it tomorrow.
Hugh, we can chat tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, who is this?
This is Dan.
Oh, Dan, beautiful. Okay, buddy. Yeah, you may look after it. No problem. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, we'll get you sorted. Laura, just in terms of where this will be posted on the website, is this going to be emailed out or just posted on the SAS Soccer website, this presentation?
That is an excellent question. I think at the moment, I just intend to post it on the webpage. So I will go back to the webpage and show you where. So if you can see the webpage right now, this presentation here, this link, is more or less this presentation that I did. But I will post an updated one down here in this here. I'll put it right here because our registration is over. I will put the webinar there, and if I can post the recording, I will also post the link here.
And just on top of that, right underneath that, the declaration of interest for member organizations to apply for quality for soccer provider. Is that where you would get the application as well?
It is right here, yes.
Okay.
I will just open that, and then that letter that I mailed out today in the email for National Youth Club license is attached to this here, and I believe that they spoke more about their process in that letter. Oops.
Okay.
You want to see? Yeah.
So the first stage, guys, just to make sure I'm clear in my head here, I should know all this. I'm part of it, right, at the national level. But we are only doing the quality for soccer first, correct?
Yes.
And then the level 1s and 2s come out, which we decided in Toronto. They come out next year, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So just to make sure that what I'm working on with the national board, we following through. Okay.
That is correct, Hugh, unless your intention is to apply directly to National Youth Club with Soccer license. And then that application process is open now. But if you're not looking to do that this year, then yes, you can start with Quality for Soccer.
Yeah, I think with us anyway, a club that we haven't got the resources, the finances to push up to the pro level side of it, but we've definitely got the resources and horsepower for the level 1, level 2 as well, maybe. The skill centers will come into it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're looking at skill centers, Lara,
Sorry, one moment. Is that you, Hugh? Oh, no, there you are. Okay, say that again, Hugh.
Where are the skill centers falling into this? Are we calling the skill centers level 1, just so that we get the right terminology here?
I don't actually know the answer to that, so I will write that down and I will get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you. I think that's what we've termed that, but if you'll clarify that, that'd be excellent.
Sure.
Dan, and that's something, Dan, we should write down and follow that one quite closely, bud, okay?
Yeah, you betcha.
Okay.
Perfect. Yes.
Laura, so just my other question, if we apply and get the QSP designation, we can at any organization or whatever could apply directly with Canada Soccer, right? Whenever their intake is, they don't have to follow the path of QSB, PTSO1, then PTSO2. They could decide if they are QSP right now that they could then directly apply for National Youth Club license status at any point, right? At the next intake.
Yes, whenever their intake is. I believe that they'll be doing their intake yearly. So
Yep.
there is an intake now, and then there will be an intake again next year.
Perfect.
From what I understand, the intake is quite intensive, and
Right.
that is why they've elected to do a yearly program because they want to make sure that they can work directly with the clubs if there are elements of their they just want to be able to give enough time and detail and attention to each application,
Sure.
which is why we're not going to be using an all year round application base.
Yeah.
And
No, fair enough.
yeah, so yes, if you feel that you're ready, if anyone feels that they're ready to rock with National Youth Club license, feel free to hop over QSP and PTSO 1 and 2 and head directly for that target.
Cool.
And Dan, like all that information, I think at one point we've got our own field, we got our own facilities, right? And
Yeah.
that was one of the recommendations.
Right.
Huge.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Yeah, I do. I think it was around slide 4 or 5. You're talking about the learn to train, fundamentals, all that. Is that the coaching level? Yeah, okay, you're right for here. Is that the coaching level required for each area?
No, this is not. This would be considered just the player element area of that aspect.
Yeah. Now, Lara, just for clarification here, when a while ago, I sat with Dave for over a week, and we filled out a whole application. I think it was 37 points. Did we have respect in sport? Actually, most of the stuff we filled out, a member organization, an MO, must have these points in order to be functionable with that soccer anyway, right? And that fell under the quality soccer.
Yes.
Where did that application go that we filled in? It would have been almost a year ago. Whatever happened to all that information we spent and filled in? What happened to that?
You know, that's the first I'm hearing of that, Hugh, so I will check into that.
Thank you very much. That was another 5 days out of my life. That's gone into the air. Oh, well. If we keep doing this, I'll be dead before I get it. Sounds like somebody's dying on the end of the phone.
Sounds like someone's on the street. Does anyone have any other questions at the moment?
Oh. Okay, is that everything you need out of us now, Lara?
Yeah, that sounds like we have about covered it. I'll stay on the line for a few more minutes if anyone has any more questions or wants to talk. Otherwise, thank you so much for dialing in for 29 minutes, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesdays, and I look forward to reviewing and receiving declarations of intent from everyone.
Hey, well, listen, before you all go, I hope you all come down to watch the team playing on Sunday against Toronto. Bring your kids, bring your grandparents, and bring your uncles.
What about my grandma and my aunt and my sister and my
Yeah,
mom?
you can bring, hey, of course, if they're as old as me, you bring them down, buddy. Bring them down. Hey, good to see you all. Good to hear you all. Dan, I'll call you tomorrow, and we'll have a chat tomorrow, Dan, okay?
Sounds good, Hugh.
Hey, thanks all. Keep well, guys. Keep safe. And Lara, thank you very much for everything, girl.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye all.
Bye, Hugh. Thanks, Laura.
Bye, guys.
This is Linda here. I've got a question.
Sure, Linda.
I'm wondering about the one diagram that you found. It's in one of the documents that were sent out also, the Canada Soccer Licensing Program, the categories document. At any rate, you showed it on the screen.
Yeah.
And it had the order of what the process is. Yes. So here I'm kind of curious as to why, once you get down to the Provincial Territorial Youth Club License 1 level, you move horizontally and it says document submission, the review meeting, the report and recommendation, and so on. That gets you your Youth License 1. But if you go up one level to get the soccer provider of quality sport,
Yes.
why isn't there the document submission, the review meeting, and so on up there? Like, it almost looks as though you don't have to do that. Like, why aren't those same?
If I had to guess why it doesn't show that here, I would guess that it is because the quality of soccer provider level is managed purely by the provinces. And I would guess that they did not include that because perhaps in different provinces, the process is different. I'm not sure why it would be different, but perhaps that is what they chose to do so that they didn't look like they were dictating a process that perhaps one of the provinces or territories weren't using.
Okay, so there still will be a lot of, like, the document submission and so on. That still is part.
It essentially is, for us, it will be the exact same process. If you look right here, there's a typo. That's really nice. There will still be a document submission. We will still review. We're not going to have a meeting. We will just do the document submission, a review, and a report and recommendation. So a second element is that for example, the National Youth Club License, the National Canada Soccer is meeting in person with all of the applicants after they've done their reviews. So we just won't be doing that for the quality of soccer level. I don't think it's necessary because it's just not the same amount of details and the same level of detail. The review meeting, I think, is meant to be like a meeting between the member and the reviewer. We won't be doing that at the quality soccer provider level.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Linda.
Hey, Lara, this is TJ.
Hey, TJ.
Hey, I just have a quick question. As far as like how much is going to cost the club for like a youth club licensing or PTSO 1 or 2, that will be part of the application, or that's something you can provide me, the information you can provide me right now?
Sorry, what is the question about the cost?
Like, yeah, the cost of acquiring different licenses.
So as far as I understand, there will not be a cost aside from whatever requirements that you might have to meet your level. So if you have coaches that need to
get to certain,
then that of course will be your responsibility. I know that Canada Soccer was considering what the cost would be moving forward, such as, for example, if someone is a PTSO level 2 and wants to move to National Youth Club license, but I haven't heard anything definitive if the model is going to be changing. But just with these in-person meetings that I mentioned to Linda, I think we all would be naive to think that that is not of a large cost to Canada Soccer in the provinces to fly out to meet with members individually. So I would imagine that down the line, the cost structure may change, but at the moment, there are no costs for clubs for review or application at the moment.
Okay, and another question is, I know you mentioned that there might be some kind of increase as far as the member organizations get for the MAP grant. Now, is that only for the quality service provider and PTSO 1 and 2, or for the national club licensing as well? Because it's not really, we're dealing with the provincial body, we're dealing with Canada Soccer then, right?
Yeah, we are one of the only provinces, if there are even any others, who have the MAP grant to begin with. So we should all consider ourselves very lucky that we have that. But we do expect it to be recognizing and rewarding those who meet levels. So I would expect that the amount that clubs get for moving up the chain would increase. But at the moment, we will have to do a lot of calculations to find out what that means. I mean, honestly, TJ, it might mean that if we have more members moving up and we are automatically awarding those who are moving up, it might mean in the end that some of our larger members, aka yourselves, might see less money out of that if we're spreading the pot around a little bit more. But that's that planning is tomorrow's problem. So that's starting that is on my list for tomorrow. So yes, we do expect to reward those, and not just Quality for Soccer. So maybe at Quality Soccer, it's $500. That's if you aren't that, you might not get. And maybe at PTSO 1 it's $750, and at PTSO 2 it's $1,000, and Youth Club license it's $2,000. I'm not sure. We'll have to calculate that and think about that from a variety of angles.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, if no one has anything else, then I will shut this down.
Thanks, Laura.
Awesome. Have a good evening, everybody.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.